They have plundered the world, stripping naked the land in their hunger. They are driven by greed, if their enemy be rich, by ambition. If poor, they ravage, they slaughter, they seize by false pretences, and all of this they hail as the construction of empire. And when in their wake nothing remains but a desert, they call that peace. Rarely will 2 or 3 tribes confer to repulse a common danger. Accordingly, they fight individually and are collectively conquered. Step by step, they were led to things which disposed to vice, the lounge, the bath, the elegant banquet. All this in their ignorance they called civilization, when it was but a part of their servitude. Think of it, 15 whole years, no small part of a man's life, taken from us. All the most energetic have fallen to the cruelty of the emperor, and the few that survive are no longer what they once were. At length they gradually deviated into the taste for those luxuries which stimulate to vice, porticos and baths, the elegancies of the table, and this, from their inexperience, they termed politeness, whilst in reality it constituted a part of their slavery. We have indeed left an impressive example of subservience. Just as Rome of old explored the limits of freedom, so have we plumbed the depths of slavery, robbed by informers even of the interchange of speech. We would have lost our memories as well as our tongues, had it been easy to forget as to be silent. They live in rare accord, maintained by mutual affection and unselfishness. In such a partnership, however, a good wife deserves more than half the praise, just as a bad one deserves more than half the blame. To robbery, butchery, and rapine they give the lying name of government. They create a desolation and call it peace. Not that I would reject those resemblances of the human figure which are engraved in brass or marbles, but as their originals are frail and perishable, so likewise are they. While the form of the mind is eternal, and not to be retained or expressed by any foreign matter or the artist's skill, but by the manners of the survivors. The name Cornelius was a common one among the Romans, so that from it we can draw no inference. Tacitus was son-in-law to Agricola, and while filial piety breathes through his work, he never departs from the integrity of his character. For indolence itself acquires a charm, and sloth, however odious at first, becomes at length engaging. Adultery is extremely rare among so numerous a people. Its punishment is instant, and at the pleasure of the husband. He cuts off the hair of the offender, strips her, and in presence of her relations expels her from the house, and pursues her with stripes through the whole village. He did not even court reputation, an object to which men of worth frequently sacrifice, by ostentation or artifice, equally avoiding competition with his colleagues and contention with the procurators. I concur in opinion with those who deem the Germans never to have intermarried with other nations, but to be a race pure, unmixed, and stamped with a distinct character. The following winter passed without disturbance, and was employed in salutary measures, for, to accustom to rest and repose through the charms of luxury a population scattered and barbarous, and therefore inclined to war, Agricola gave private encouragement and public aid to the buildings of temples, courts of justice, and dwelling houses, praising the energetic and reproving the indolent. Thus an honourable rivalry took place of compulsion. He likewise provided a liberal education for the sons of the chiefs, and showed such a preference for the natural powers of the Britons over the industry of the Gauls, that they who lately disdained the tongue of Rome now coveted its eloquence. Hence, too, a liking sprang up for the style of dress, and the toga became fashionable. He bore this calamity, not with the ostentatious firmness which may have affected, nor yet with the tears and lamentations of feminine sorrow, and war was one of the remedies of his grief. Terror and dread alone are the weak bonds of attachment, which once broken, they who cease to fear will begin to hate. The derivation of German is Wehrmann, a warrior or man of war. Thus, by the Salic law, a fine of 600 denarii is imposed upon every free man who shall accuse another of throwing down his shield and running away without being able to prove it. It is no use trying to escape their arrogance by submission or good behaviour. They have pillaged the world, When the land has nothing left for men who ravage everything, they scour the sea. If an enemy is rich, they are greedy. If he is poor, they crave glory. Neither east nor west can sate their appetite. They are the only people on earth to covet wealth and poverty with equal craving. They plunder, they butcher, they ravish and call it by the name of empire. They make a desert and call it peace.